What's going on, guys? It's Nick here, back with another video. First mock draft of the 2019 fantasy football season. The first real mock draft. We did a few during the off season, but this is the first one after the draft, and it's the start of our uploads. This will go up May 20th, and then you'll get a video every single day, hopefully until Christmas, but at least every single day until the start of the season, and definitely every day until Thanksgiving. You can pretty much expect a video every day from now until Thanksgiving. So we're going to produce a ton of content. We want to make sure that you guys are fully prepared for your draft and that you're fully prepared for the season after the draft happens. So we're going to start things off. I haven't done too many mock drafts. I've kind of seen how ADPs are changing a little bit in the offseason. But the same reminder as in every single start of the season, ADPs right now are not the same as ADPs in the future. So if you're watching this in like August, stop watching unless you just want to know what the team turned out like, and go to our most recent mock draft and watch that. But for those of you who are watching in May, let's do this. The start of the fantasy football season. We're going to do a lot more half point and full point leagues this season. I'm going to do a lot of half point because I think it's just a good mix. It's what a lot of people play. So we're going to start off with the half point. I don't really know what spot. We'll do 4. I'm going to do every single spot so many times. You can tell me in the comment section, hey, try to do one from this spot. But I'm going to try and do like every single format because we're doing a mock draft every single week. And then we are going to be having some Twitch streams starting in June. They're going to be mock drafts. So you guys will have plenty of opportunity to see us do a draft in the spot that your league is in. And then standard settings. We got 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, 1 flex spot, 6 bench, a defense, no kicker, 1 tight end, 1 quarterback. Same, just a normal setting for the league. And let's just start the draft. So this season, from the initial look, is very similar to last year. Last year, it was you got to get some running backs early because there are so many wide receivers that were very undervalued last season. And I guess not undervalued as much as you just the gap between, a 3rd, 4th round wide receiver and like a 9th round wide receiver is just not that much of a gap. So it's the same this season, which is why running backs are getting taken off the board insanely early, but you basically have to. So this draft starts off Zeke, McCaffrey, Barclays. I have not seen drafts that you can throw Kamara in there. Those 4, I haven't really seen drafts where that changes. The order is completely random for as far as what I've seen people take. Typically it's Barclays, then one of McCaffrey and Zeke, and then Kamara. But those 4 are your 4 picks. It doesn't matter if you're in standard, half point, and full point. There's no case for a wide receiver ahead of those guys. I'm going to take Kamara here just because he was the last one of the 4. But kind of like this spot because I guess you're guaranteed one of those. But definitely, like if we take a look at some of the running backs, I have no problem if you're at the 5 pick or the 6 pick or the 7 pick, because all of these running backs, Kamara, Melvin Gordon, David Johnson, Le'Veon Bell, I'm fully confident in all of them. So I don't think there really is a best pick, at least right now. We're going to do so many mock drafts, we're going to figure out what the best pick is. But right now, I don't see like a best pick in a 12-team league. So I don't want to read off all the names. What I want to do is maybe highlight a few key guys that get taken. So we see Mahomes get taken at the 2nd pick, or the 4th pick in the 2nd round. So early 2nd round. Travis Kelce early 2nd round as well. First wide receiver was DeAndre Hopkins at the 6th pick. Devonta Adams was next, then Odell. Okay, nothing weird, and obviously this is a computer we're drafting with, so nothing's going to be crazy. I feel like Le'Veon Bell is going to be Le'Veon Bell, and where's David Johnson? David Johnson went at the end of the 1st. I think those are 2 guys that I'm higher on than most people are. But we'll see. We'll see how their ADPs change. We'll see how the ADP of Todd Gurley changes. Did he even get? Yeah, Todd Gurley went 7th. So I'll give my Todd Gurley take to start off, I guess, the first mock draft. At 7, it's a no for me, just because there are so many risks that it's not like if you fade Todd Gurley in this pick, you're not getting a stud, because there's so many studs to go around, and like, why take the risk? In the first 4 rounds, you want to avoid risk as much as possible. So you want guys that are pretty heavily involved and ideally on really good offenses. That used to be the case with Gurley, but now there's that risk with his knees where maybe we don't know how involved he's going to be. Just take someone else, because you just don't have to. I've seen some expert drafts where he's going like mid to late second. Cool with that, because at that point you're getting so much upside at that spot. But I mean, right now it's 7. That's a bit too high for me. So we had Alvin Kamara. We're in a half-point league, which means that we don't technically need to favor running back or wide receiver. In a standard league, you want to favor the running back. In a PPR league, you can lean a little bit more towards wide receiver. But my general strategy, as you guys know, is just hammer running backs early, because there's a plethora of wide receivers late. I'm basically going to institute a rule where we're not allowed to take a quarterback until like the 12th round this year. I've said 2 years ago that it was the deepest quarterback I've ever seen. Then last year I said it again, and this year has just blown both of those years out of the water. I mean, there are like 25 quarterbacks that you could draft where it's completely insane to take one before the 12th round. You're just insane if you do that. So we won't even look at quarterback. Tight end's a little different. We see Kelsey go early. I'm not huge on taking like Kittle and Ertz. But we're going to do some mock drafts where we see how our team turns out when we take them. They're going to be like 2nd to 3rd round picks. I kind of see a cliff fall off after that kind of like 10 range for tight end. So we can kind of pay attention to tight end and just make sure we get someone that we feel good with, because there are some pretty solid tight ends. I'm not saying there aren't options in the late rounds, but it does fall off a little bit, and we do want to capitalize on them. So who are our options for a second round? We're in the late second round. We're going to get a pick in what, like 8 or so? 6? Or the 4? Yeah, there's going to be 6 picks in between this pick and the next one. So we've got Alvin Kamara. We can take either Chubb, Marlon Mack, Leonard Fournette, or Aaron Jones. Now between that, for me, it's Chubb and Marlon Mack. For the wide receivers, we've got Mike Evans, AJ Green, and Amari Cooper. That's kind of who I'd be looking at. And I'd really narrow that down to Mike Evans over the other guys. I don't think I'd take Mike Evans there. So Mike Evans or Nick Chubb. That's basically what I'd have it down to here. You guys know that I'm higher on Nick Chubb than most of the community, because I thought he was by far the best running back on the team last season. And they, their terrible coaching regime finally got kicked out of there. But I didn't think he'd be this good. I mean, he is insane. He's a fantastic running back. And I think that if you give him that first half of the season, basically the full workload besides some third downs, but they're going to give him a ton of workload on a fantastic offense. I don't see how they go to Kareem Hunt after that. So I love Chubb. You could argue that there's too much risk, and if you are someone who believes that Hunt's going to come in and take a bunch of work, then you go Mike Evans with this pick. But I'm going to take Chubb just because I believe in his talent, and I think he's just going to dominate for a large portion of the season. And, he's going to help me. This Kamara-Chubb combo is going to help you get into the playoffs. So I do like that pick, and also like it because I don't think the drop-off from Mike Evans to this next tier of wide receivers was huge. And I do... I was going to say, I really would like to get one of AJ Green or Cooper here, because I do like the strategy where you hammer running backs early, but that you still get a stud. You still get someone in like that 2nd, 3rd, 4th round range that can just potentially be a top 5 wide receiver, and then you can sprinkle in the guys late because you only really need 1 to 2 other ones that'll produce. So I really like AJ Green. I'm a little concerned with some of his injuries, and I really like Amari Cooper. However, I love Marlon Mack, and I don't think I'd take Fournette here. I can see the case for taking Fournette. The problem is I don't think he's that good, and I think the Jaguars eventually are going to figure that out. So I don't like drafting him. I don't think I ever have. And Aaron Jones, I think there's far too much risk with that, and then there is a drop-off that next year, which I still like, but a drop-off. Marlon Mack is going to be on a fantastic offense this season. He's got a really good offensive line, and they didn't do anything to bring in competition. So this is Marlon Mack's job. We saw last season they love the games where they can give him the ball 25 times. And the dude's young. The dude's really young. So it's not like we're getting some like aging running back. This is like the potential explosion from Marlon Mack this season. So being able to lock up Alvin Kamara, Chubb, and Marlon Mack, who could legitimately all finish in the top 5, I think that's very safe. And it just secures running back for us. So we are going to do that. And we're going to see, this is a mock draft. Again, we're going to see how our team shapes up at the wide receiver position. But now I would lean wide receiver. Unless I see an option. And I do. unless I saw an option that was clearly ahead of everyone else, I would lean wide receiver. Problem again is I have a pick in 6 picks again this time. Yeah, I have a pick in 6 picks, and between Robert Woods, this is my options right now. We got Robert Woods, Kenny Golladay, Cooper Kupp, Godwin, and Sammy Watkins. That's kind of who I like in this range. Cool with really any of them. I don't really care which one we get. And since we're guaranteed to get one of those guys, I mean essentially guaranteed, I want to lock up the running back because after Josh Jacobs, I do see every single person remaining on here has issues for me, like pretty big issues. You know, Kenyon Drake, it seems like every coaching staff just hates him. Like if they would unleash him and they would give him a ton of carries and stuff, great. I mean, he'd be phenomenal, but we don't know that. Mark Ingram, I mean, he's changing teams. We have no idea what his role is going to be. I think he's going to have a decent role, but we don't know that. Darius Geis, you know, he's suffered another setback. They just brought back Adrian Peterson. They drafted a running back. They have Chris Thompson. Like, there are so many guys over there, so that's a tough spot. Tariq Cohen, you know, they want to scale back some of his carries. So you look at every single person on these lists, there are problems with all of them. I see no problem with Josh Jacobs. He was drafted in the first round, which means we know that the team wants him to succeed. It was a pick that is highly scrutinized, so you know that coaching staff wants to be proven right. And there's zero competition in that backfield in what should be a better offense this season. But we saw at times last season Doug Martin was fine. So, yeah. I mean, Josh Jacobs is going to be good. I have him. If you guys also want to follow along, I actually recommend this. You can go to our website, thefantasyfootballadvice.com. Go to our rankings. We want to click half point because that's what we're in right now. And just download it. Like, just hit the download button. And whenever I talk about something, just add it to the notes section in Excel. Like, it's super easy. You click that, open it up in Excel. But, like, I have Josh Jacobs as the running back 14. So, what I've done in this draft, because I will be taking Josh Jacobs now, I've gotten my running back 4, 11, 13, and 14. And I only need to start 3, which means I have basically locked up every single week what I think are all running back 1s. And that's what you want to do because wide receivers are all there late. So I'm going to take Josh Jacobs, and at this point, pretty much have to go with a wide receiver. I know that there might be, like I know people might like, hey, take Geis as like a huge upside running back 5. You know, take Miller as running back 5. But at the end of the day, we're going to need to take some shots in this range. So we need to start taking them. Since we're good at running back, and since we know that we're going to get a fine quarterback, we want to take safety at this, or we want to take upside with some of these picks and safety with some of these picks. Like, we do still need a wide receiver to produce points for us, but we kind of want to shoot for upside because we're trying to win. We're not trying to get third place. And since we're cool at running back, if we hit on a few of these wide receivers to be wide receiver 1s, we're golden. So we want to shoot for upside, but we want to keep in the back of our mind 1 or 2 of these need to be kind of safe picks. So who are we looking at? We're looking at Godwin. I would have taken Sammy Watkins if he wasn't taken. Love Sammy Watkins. We love DJ Moore, Landry, Mike Williams, Marvin Jones, Will Fuller, Dante Pettis, but not with this pick. It's Godwin. I think it's Godwin with this pick. You guys know I was like the poster boy for Godwin last season. I love his talent. Humphries is gone. Finally, Deshaun Jackson is gone. We know every time that Deshaun Jackson was out, this dude crushes. It's Godwin. It is finally time for the Godwin to just be unleashed. So I'm cool with him. Obviously, it'd be better if we had a better wide receiver 1, but I fully think he's capable of bringing us wide receiver 1 numbers. Also, bye weeks, for any of you who are like, oh no, you have 2 6s and 2 7s, don't worry about it even for a second. I don't even use it as a tiebreaker because come week 5, you have no idea what your team's going to look like. So don't make decisions in the draft based off of bye weeks. I don't care if you have 9 players with bye week in week 7 because you could look at that as a positive thing. You could be like, hey, I get a bunch of guys in week 7. If I can just scrap together a team in week 7 that can pull off a win with just waiver wire guys, now my entire team has no bye weeks every other week. Like, imagine winning that week that you have a bunch of guys on bye. Don't worry about it at all. There's positive benefits to both sides, so don't even look at it. This range of running back starts to get really gross. Also, it's possible that these rankings aren't perfect, and there are some guys down here. I kind of looked through it quickly, and I didn't see any glaring misrankings, I guess. But I'm sure there will be some hidden in here that are a little bit off right now. But again, it's going to be May 20th when this goes up. So we're going to ignore that, and we're going to take another wide receiver. For me, it's between DJ Moore and Mike Williams. Mike Williams was just a touchdown machine last season. We know Hunter Henry's coming back, which will hurt a little bit for the touchdowns, but I think that he's a great upside pick in this spot. But I also love DJ Moore, and I also love Tyler Boyd and Will Fuller. So I actually don't know what my pick would be here. Maybe we go to my rankings. Right now, don't trust the rankings fully. They're not perfect, but these are initial rankings. So let's just look at DJ. So I have DJ Moore at 20, and I'm sure. So I have Mike Williams at 26. So I do have DJ Moore ahead. So maybe we trust my rankings right now, and I guess there's a possibility our next pick we can get Mike Williams as well. But DJ Moore wasn't going to make it through, so there's no way. It's with 16 picks. Oh no, it wasn't 16. That's the next one. Nice, cool. So we can get Mike Williams too. I like this David Montgomery pick too. I still need to look a lot more into these rookie running backs, but he's a fantastic fit for that offense, and everyone knows Jordan Howard is on the Eagles now. That's a horrible fit for him. He's not going to do anything there. But David Montgomery, that's a good pick. I'm cool with taking him in the 6th round. And I have the feeling that the industry is going to like him too, and so that's gonna bump up. We're going to see him in more of that 4th, 5th round range. But I think taking Mike Williams here would be good. I'd really like to secure another one in this range, so hopefully we don't see a run at wide receiver. But let's walk through the team we have right now. So a ton of guys are going to get taken, but we've got at running backs, we've got Alvin Kamara, Nick Chubb, Marlon Mack, and Josh Jacobs. That's beautiful. We're going to take 2 more, but we're probably going to wait a little bit longer and take some high upside flyers later in the draft. For wide receivers, we've got Chris Godwin, DJ Moore, and Mike Williams. So we've got a very young, very, very young wide receiver core. Quarterback, again, we're waiting on. Let's look at tight end. Let's just see what's left. So what's gone? Kelsey's gone. Kittle, Ertz, OJ Howard, Hunter Henry, Evan Ingram, and Eric Ebron are all gone. And we are currently in the middle, the late 8th round. That seems pretty standard. So who's left? Realistically, this choice would be between Jared Cook, David Njoku, and Delaney Walker. Not even Delaney Walker. We'll throw that out. I guess Herndon, Austin Cooper. I don't like this range. So this is what I was kind of talking about. This whole range down here, you can take shots on Gesicki and Hawkinson and Dallas Goedert. I actually really like Dallas Goedert. If you miss on everyone, go to him because that upside's massive. Vance McDonald. But in all seriousness, it's between Jared Cook and Njoku and then a cliff. I mean, you just know those guys are going to be involved. So I see my team very secure at running back with solid wide receivers. I'm just going to lock up Njoku right now. I know that it's possible you can wait and maybe get him in like the 9th round with the next pick. I just want to lock up Njoku because I'm 100% confident that he's going to be involved in the offense and he's going to give me some really good weeks. Now, would I prefer the guys who already got drafted? Yeah, I prefer all of them, basically. Ebron's kind of a toss-up. But I feel very good about Njoku. So adding him to this team, I'm just not going to have to really worry about tight end. Could he get hurt? Sure. Could he not be as involved because Odell is more involved? Yeah. But I feel very good about Njoku. So this is the range where I like getting tight end. But I'm also cool if maybe in the last pick you liked. I don't really know when Evan Ingram went. I guess we can scroll through. So Evan Ingram went in the 6th round. If instead of... No, that's tough. So we wouldn't have even been able to get him. You would have had to get him in the 5th round with that pick. So, but let's just say you're in the 6th round. If you want one of those mid tight ends, I'm cool with that. I'm really just not cool with how early, like 2nd round for Kelsey, 3rd round for OJ Howard. That's rough, you know. Like Kittle in the 3rd round, that's pretty good, or even Ertz in the 3rd round. But OJ Howard in the 3rd round, like these are some tough ADPs. So I kind of prefer getting Njoku at this spot. So we've locked up Njoku. We've got 4 running backs and 3. Yeah, 4 running backs, 3 wide receivers. I don't think we need to lean either way. We can just take who we like best with the next 4 picks. The next 4 picks mean running backs and wide receivers. Let's see who's left. So our options at running back: Matt Breida, Ronald Jones, Ito Smith, Donta Foreman. Let's see. Not a whole lot. Darrell Henderson for some upside, but we can wait on that. Gross. Okay. Damian Harris. Yeah, it gets pretty disgusting at running back. That's why we just got to lock him up. But I think we got to probably take one of those guys. So what's at wide receiver? Ooh. Oh, I like some of these guys. Okay. God, I love so many of these wide receivers late. So I love Cootie. I love Curtis Samuel. I love Anthony Miller. The dude caught like 7 touchdowns last season with a shoulder injury that required surgery in January. Like he was hurt the whole year. I love his talent. I love Michael Gallup. I love Robert Foster. I love Robert Foster and John Brown, but they kind of hurt each other. I love them more as football players than in fantasy this season. Although with Josh Allen, how much I really, really like his talent, and his just willingness to huck it deep. They're gonna have some big weeks, but I don't know. Not in this spot. We're not drafting him. I love Devin Funchess, Deshaun Hamilton, DK Metcalf, Tyrell the Gazelle, Hardman. Definitely looking at that. Okay. So here's what I'm thinking. We have to wait a while. Ideal plan here. Ideal plan would be to get Kiki Kuti with this pick. So I just love him. I love him so much. I love his talent. And then I feel like Deshaun Hamilton's gonna get slept on a little bit. But if we can get McCole Hardman with the next one, that'd be nice. I'm not Sutton has disappointed me up until this point, so I'm not going to jump on the Sutton train. Kiki Kuti is being very, very undervalued with this 9th round tag. That's ridiculous. So hopefully McCole, okay, come on, no, hasn't been drafted. Very nice. I do like Funchess. That was a good pick in the 10th round. Even in expert leagues, though, experts are not on him, but I think he's good. So let's get him. McCole Hardman, you gotta realize that we have no clue what's gonna happen with Tyreek Hill, but it's not looking good. I can tell you that much. So if he's gone, you've got Sammy Watkins, who again he got taken, but I love him. I would have taken him as my wide receiver 1, and McCole Hardman, who kind of fits that Tyreek Hill role. Like no one in the league can actually take the Tyreek Hill role, but with how good Mahomes is, you see what he did with even some scrub wide receivers in the team. Because realistically, when Watkins was down and you only had Tyreek Hill, it was scrubs behind that. Excuse me. Hardman has plenty of talent, and if you're on the football field with Patrick Mahomes, he's not just going to throw to Kelsey every play. It's going to be a lot of plays, but it's going to be every play. So that's upside. That's upside that I like with this pick. And that brings us to 4 of each? 5. That brings us to 5 wide receivers, 4 running backs. which unfortunately, even though I love all these wide receivers late, probably means we need to take 2 more running backs with the next 2 picks. So who is left? Remember, upside. Pure upside. I don't care if this guy gets 0 points with this pick. I want upside because they are not starting for me. And really, realistically, this pick is not going to start until week 6. Until week 6 when I have 2 running backs on bye. There's just no way. Even if, like Mac and Josh Jacobs and all those guys, unless they get hurt, even if they're underperforming, I will not be starting any of these running backs ahead of them. So I want pure upside. Duke Johnson is not pure upside unless they trade him, which I pray that they do. Trade him to my Patriots. Unless they trade him, there's no real upside there. I guess unless Chubb got hurt. But realistically, on my team right now, I don't want that to happen. Like, I don't want my 2nd round pick getting hurt. So that's why I don't draft handcuffs. So we're not doing that. Carlos Hyde, I don't believe is that good. So I'm not going to draft him. Adrian Peterson, yeah, he has the upside if something were to happen again to Geis. But not pumped about that pick. So scroll down. I like Keelan Ballage if they end up going to him. We just still haven't seen a lot from him. But Darrell Henderson he's got by far the most upside of anyone on this list. So I think you got to go with him. Henderson, what does he have? Like 6.1 yards per carry after contact last season. You had like 8 yards per carry in back-to-back seasons. He's a monster. Darrell Henderson's a monster. And if something were to happen to Gurley with his knees, Darrell Henderson's a running back 1. So we're going to get running back 1 upside in the 13th round. That's what you want. So we go Darrell Henderson, and then we wait a very long time. And we are left with... All right, again, it's Ballage, Devin Singletary, but Damian Harris, I guess. I'm looking for someone. Alexander Madison, potentially, if something were to happen to Dalvin Cook. I don't see anyone screaming at me. So I feel like the pick, that's a tough one. I feel like I'm going to go Ballage with this one because I guess he has the clearest path. He's pretty much, he's the running back 2. He's like locked into the running back 2 on Miami. The unfortunate thing is I've been doing early projections and Miami does not produce well for running backs. So even if he took over the full-time role, we're not expecting him to be like massively productive in fantasy. But I'm looking at everyone else on this list, and I just right now, if you guys have a different take on who I should pick with this, 12th round pick, let me know. But I guess it's Ballage, and you could say take the quarterback, but I could take Deshaun Hamilton. But I really want 2 running backs late. I was just worried that Ballage would get taken with the next pick. So we take Ballage, and now we got to pick a quarterback. So this is why we don't take quarterbacks early. So we can pick between Big Ben, Kyler Murray, Josh Allen, Kirk Cousins, plenty of guys. I haven't decided yet if I like Josh Allen or Kyler Murray more. I don't even know. What do I have on the rankings? So right now I have Josh Allen as my quarterback 8 and Kyler Murray as my quarterback 11. And that might surprise some of you, but it shouldn't, because rushing for quarterbacks is a cheat code. It is legitimately the biggest cheat code in the world. At this point, I struggle to take a non-mobile quarterback. Unless you can legitimately get me like 20 and 30 rushing yards each game, I'm not going to draft you. Like, that's why guys like Patrick Mahomes and Andrew Luck and Aaron Rodgers and Deshaun Watson, that's why they're going in those top 4 picks, because it's not like Patrick Mahomes runs for 100 yards each week, but he can get you those rushing touchdowns. And he can get you, those games where he has like 30 or 40 rushing yards. Well, Josh Allen can get you 102 on the ground. Plus he has those weeks where he chucks it deep and connects with, his awesome deep threats that we like, the Robert Foster and the Smokey Brown. Like, we love those guys. He's going to have huge weeks. And the floor is there because he's going to rush for like 60 rushing yards even in the bad weeks. But I don't know. Okay, so who should I have taken with that, what was it, the 12th round pick, where I went with Balaj? And who do you guys like more between Josh Allen and Kyler Murray? Because I love both of them, but I genuinely don't know which one. I think I'm going to go Kyler Murray here. And I might move the rankings just because he's got such an amazing cast behind him. Like, the weapons surrounding him, plus that rushing floor. I kind of view Josh Allen and Kyler Murray as the same rushing floor. And so then I'm like, okay, well, I don't really know personally who's got the better arm. Like, I just don't know that at this point in their careers. We haven't seen enough from either of them. And we probably won't know that for another year or two. But who's got more weapons? And it's Kyler Murray by a mile. So I'm going to take Kyler Murray. And then defense, I don't know, I'll just take whoever they suggest to me. I haven't looked into who's got good matchups in the first couple of weeks. Sure, let's just take the Saints. I got an A-, don't care about that. I want to kind of zoom in. Hopefully this zoomed in enough for you guys. Here's the team. We got the quarterback we like, Kyler Murray. We've got Alvin Kamara, Nick Chubb, Chris Godwin, DJ Moore, Njoku, and Marlon Mack. That's a really solid starting lineup, and I feel very confident that that's a safe starting lineup. Saints, we don't really care about the defense. For bench, Josh Jacobs, Mike Williams, Kiki Kuti, McCole Hardman, Darrell Henderson, Keelan Balaj. I don't love the Balaj pick. I wish that the bench was stronger at that last spot, but I love the upside of this entire bench. Mike Williams has wide receiver 1 upside. Kiki Kuti probably not a wide receiver 1, but when they're using him in these end arounds and these screen passes, I mean, when he was fully healthy, he crushed it last season. So I love his talent. I love Josh Jacobs in just that I don't think he's like a fantastic running back. I don't think he's the greatest running back in the world, but he's a 3-down back on a team that wants to prove that was the right pick. So I love that on our bench. McCole Hardman, ton of upside. Darrell Henderson, ton of upside. I like this pick. I sign off on this draft. So that is the end of this video. Hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, how about we hit that like button? How about we subscribe if we're new? Thanks for watching.